Hi Scorpio, so I'm doing your love reading for the month of July 2025. Now, for our regulars here, you guys will already know I don't normally start a reading like this with the cards already laid out, okay? I've not even finished pulling the cards yet. What's gone on? As you guys know, it's incredibly hot and humid at the moment. I've got the fan on in the room, and that's to try and keep all of the equipment, rather than myself, at a decent temperature. The problem is, some equipment still got fried, okay? And it got fried halfway through your reading, which is typical. Now, I do use backups on my cameras. So my cameras, I've got two cameras. They are both recording independently. And then I've got OBS that is recording the sound from the microphone and the visuals. It's all going through OBS and then it's landing on an SSD drive. The SSD drive just got fried. Now, I can't use the sound from that first half of the reading that I've just done for you either, because of it's just typical. The position of my fan, it was pointed directly into the microphone. So it sounded really, really awful as well. So what I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to take you through the reading again rather than trashing it, because I don't trash reads anyway. It's like the messages that come out for you, that's going to be your message, right? So I don't trash reads anyway. So I've got to take you through it all again. And we get to that point and then I'm going to start pulling more cards for you, okay? So I'll show you what we got so far. Thank you for bearing with me. Right, so overhead camera, there you go. Your first card that came out was the X, right? And we've got a little crystal on there because that card came out squiffy, right? And I'm trying to keep the desk as tidy as possible, although it's a little bit impossible to do. But that's why it's got the little stone on there, okay? Because it came out squiffy. And the message was, in your love energies, there is one of your exes that you don't speak to because it was off-center, and you don't want to speak to them. Like, as far as you're concerned, you have nothing to say to this individual. There is nothing left to say, nothing left to do. Like, it's all been said, it's all been done. It is what it is. You would rather not hear from this particular individual. Quite frankly, you've got better things to do with your time, right? That's the energy that was coming out. And then it was clarified, because you've got the X, adventure, divine timing, and apology. So this X is wanting to give you some sort of an apology for what it's worth, right? We hadn't found out yet what that apology was all about. We found out that later on down the line. So we pulled more cards, and then we've got, okay, you've got the Hierophant and the Temperance that came out. So this individual has got something to get off of their chest, right? It was kind of like a guilty conscience, but not quite. It was more of like they've got a guilty conscience because it's for their own benefit, not for yours. Basically, that's how the energy came through. Okay. It was purely for selfish reasons as to why they're wanting to apologize to you. And do you know what I mean? It's like there wasn't so much of making amends. It was more of getting something off their chest. For why? Because reasons it'll make them feel better, right? And then I says you could be dealing with a Taurus or a Sagittarius. You've also got Sagittarius energy here as well with adventure, okay? You don't have to be dealing with those signs. That's just the energies that came through. Now, it also went on to describe to me a situation where you were completely, at one point in the past, you were completely devoted to this individual. Like you were dedicated to them, right? And for reasons unknown to me, they took advantage of that. Because we clarified it with the Devil and the Six of Wands. And then it went on to describe, well, this person, they might have been involved with some kind of substance abuse, right? Because the devil with the Six of Wands, that's someone who's only interested in instant gratification, which for some people, substances can do that for them, okay? It could have been like sex addictions or anything else like that. It was something very destructive that happened within this relationship with this particular person that led up to reasons of you now being their ex or them now being your ex, okay? Very, very destructive, toxic, unhealthy behaviors, a lot of selfishness coming through. And like I said, a lot of very possible substance abuse. So it seems to be that this individual could well be blaming either their substance abuse or another person for treating you horrifically. Okay, because something horrific's gone down between you two at some point that they're wanting to speak to you about, that they're wanting to apologize to you for. Okay, and then we clarified that because I said, well, at that point I says, but has this person really changed then? And the card that came out for that one was Judgment. And the answer given was, you're going to have to use your very best discernment on that one, Scorpio. You're going to have to be the judge of that as to whether or not they've changed. And you can only judge that through the behavior that they demonstrate to you. Should you choose, okay, because you don't have to speak to this person, right? You don't have to have anything to do with this person at all. Just because they're in your energy, it doesn't mean to say that you have to deal with them, because you don't. Right? You don't have to deal with anybody that you don't want to. However, should you choose to observe them, to see if they've changed, then at that point, you're going to be able to make a judgment call on that, right? And then you had the Queen of Pentacles that also came out with it. And the message that came out with this one was this individual was attracted to you because of your fierce independence. And yet when they were with you, that was the very thing that they tried to squash within you. Okay? Because this individual is intimidated by you. Why are they intimidated by you? For the exact same reasons as to why they were attracted to you in the first place. Make it make sense. So they were attracted to you in the first place because of your fierce independence. They get together with you, and then they start to destroy that independent streak of yours because they were intimidated by it. So straight away, at that point, I knew that you were dealing with an individual here who switches up on you super, super quick. And that is toxic as fuck, right? Furthermore, I was making the comments of, you can't possibly get together with someone because of certain things that you like about them, and then while you're with them in that relationship, try and destroy the very essence that made you attracted to that person in the first place. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. There's a personality deficit here that's going on with this particular individual, right? Straight up. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to make any sort of apologies. That's someone who's got a personality deficit. They saw something in you that they do not possess. They were attracted to it. That part's normal. But the fact is, after they got with you, they tried to destroy those exact elements within you. And they tried to turn you into someone else entirely different just because they were intimidated. No, that's a personality deficit. So, we moved on. These two here actually belong to this divine timing card, and we'll get to that in a minute. I don't want to jump too far ahead. This was something else. This was their actions. So I asked, okay, so can we clarify further? What exactly is this energy that's going on in Scorpio's love situation? And then you get the King of Cups, okay? So this one, that's about emotional maturity, emotional balance, and emotional security, right? It's your card, it's your energy, and it's fallen under the adventure card, right? So as clear as eggs, you've already moved on from this individual, right? You're enjoying your life here, someplace else. You found safety, stability, security, love within yourself and within another individual already. It's like you've washed your hands of this X over here, and you're here in this area, if you will, basically making the most of your life, being the best version of yourself that you possibly can be, enjoying a beautiful, tender, loving connection with someone. Now, if you don't already have that with a special person, then it's coming towards you, okay? It's coming towards you. That's the type of relationship that you have yet to look forward to. And that's where your energy's at the moment, Scorpio. That's where your focus is. Your focus and your energy is certainly not where this X is at, okay? And then we clarified that further with the Page of Wands and the Seven of Wands. And the message that came through with these two was, however, having said all that here about where you're at right now, or where you're focused on being at right now, you're still going to be a little bit curious as to why this individual, and quite rightly so, has all of a sudden decided, okay, Scorpio, I need to talk to you. I've got to get something off my chest. Yada, yada, yada. You're going to be like, okay, that's a bit strange. Why now? Why now? Why after all this time? Why after all this time? It doesn't make sense. So it's going to spark a little bit of curiosity within you, as it would anybody, right? Even though you're going to be quite sort of defensive, quite rightly, and standoffish, okay? So there's that one. And then we clarified the situation even further. We're still on the situation. Right? I got about 15 minutes into your reading, maybe more than that, before the disc fried. You got the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords for the situation. You can't trust the situation because you can't trust the person. There's something quite devious about them, about their energy, about the way that they conduct themselves, about the language that they use. It's very concerning because it's manipulative, right? You also had the message, because that was clarified even further with the Six of Cups, that this individual has spoken smack about you to other people that you love and care about, and they had been doing it for a while. Incredibly two-faced, selfish, single-minded individual here, this ex that you don't want to have anything to do with, who wants to speak to you, has been speaking shit about you to people that you love and care about, people that you grew up with, people that you knew for a long, long time, all sat there and listened to this ex's bullshit, lies, slander, accusations, and sheer hateful malice towards you. To people that at one point meant the world to you, and they all sat there and listened to the bullshit slander of this ex. So we moved on from that, and I asked, okay, so what actions will they take towards Scorpio then? Why is this ex in Scorpio's energy? What actions will this ex take towards Scorpio? And you had these ones here, the Four of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. So, as far as their actions go, and they are a lazy individual, they've got a very lazy, self-centered energy about them, it's still coming out as being lazy and standoffish, okay? it's still coming out as they're not going to give you the full story. They're not going to tell you everything. They're not going to tell you their entire reasons, genuine reasons behind why now all of a sudden they're wanting to get this off their chest. Now why all of a sudden have they had this sudden impulse, this sudden epiphany that they've treated you horrifically. Why now? You're not going to get the full answer with these two cards here as their actions towards you. The Queen of Swords and the Three of Pentacles, when we looked into that, the message came out as being that other people around this ex of yours has told them to stay away from you. They have told them, that's not a good plan, that's not a good idea. We recommend that you don't do that. We recommend you stay away from Scorpio. So there is somebody within that circle of friends that all had borne witness to this ex slagging you off. It's one of them that's telling this ex of yours, don't go near Scorpio. Do you really think that Scorpio is going to want to listen to anything that you say? After everything that you've said, after everything that you've done? So somebody is standing up for you here. In your absence, someone's standing up for you. So we left that and we moved on to here, which was your divine timing. And as I focused on that, the message came through, Scorpio, as you're going to have to trust in divine timing. And I thought, okay, that's a bit of a vague message, if anything. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a vague thing to come through. Just trust in divine timing. So I was like, okay, well, we definitely need to take a deeper dive into that. So we pulled from an entirely different deck, this one here, and I inquired further, and you had the Nine of Wands reversed and Justice in the upright position. And it got really specific at that point. For the longest time, this is what you're needing to wait on divine timing for, apparently, Scorpio. For the longest time, you wanted some kind of justice, some kind of vindication. Because whatever this individual, this ex that is now back in your energy did, it was either straight up illegal or it was something quite horrific. Okay? Devil and the Six of Wands. And they did it for incredibly selfish reasons. Right? And for the longest time, you wanted some kind of justice for that. And the message came through, you have to trust in divine timing. Because your vindication, it is coming through. Okay? And you have to trust in that. Again, with this one coming out in the reverse, it's like at some point you gave up. You gave up waiting for that justice to happen to this person. And in a twisted way, in a real twisted turn of events, Scorpio, it might not be enough justice for you, but it's justice of sorts. The fact that also in their actions towards you, the last card we pulled in their actions towards you was the Six of Pentacles reversed. That's them begging. Begging you for forgiveness. But again, are they being genuine? Have they legitimately changed? You've got to be the judge of that, okay? Only you can be the judge of that. it feels like if you were to entertain this, Scorpio, which the vast majority of you will not, a tiny, tiny handful of you might. Okay, again, it all depends entirely on exactly who this person is, exactly what it is that they've done to you. I don't know the specific details, okay, because I don't know your life, I don't know their life. I'm just trying to read the energy, right? So depending on who they are and exactly what they've done to you, if you were to entertain having any kind of conversation with this individual, it would bring you a certain sense of satisfaction to see them begging. I'm not going to say you're right for that. I'm not going to say you're wrong for that. Okay, my job is not to judge. My job is to read the cards, read the energy. There's something missing with them. There's something missing with them. They are not complete. And that's because they've been seeking validation and happiness within other people. That's as far as what we got. Okay? So, their actions towards you feels to me like they're going to try and take something back. But they're not going to be able to take back words that they said to you or about you. They're not going to be able to take back actions that they did to you. They have to bear the consequences of whatever this is that they did. They can't take it back now. They're in your energy because they're trying to take it back. So whatever you do with that information is completely up to you, right? So, we got as far as their actions, their energy towards you, their actions towards you. Now I need to take a quick look at how this is likely going to play out, okay? So, yeah, I can only apologize again, Scorpio, for that huge disaster with the equipment. I tried to take precautions, didn't work. The equipment still got fried. It is what it is, right? Also, these 4 decks here that's sitting on my desk, these are part of this month's gift giveaway. They have all come from my own personal collection, okay? It's not sponsored by anybody. They just so happen to all be low Scorpio decks just by sheer chance. So I need to find these decks new homes, okay? So there's going to be 4 winners. Just let me know in the comments box below which one of these decks you feel more drawn towards. And that's going to be your entry into this month's giveaway. Okay, so we've got the Tarot of the Druids, the John Bauer Tarot, the Visconti Tarot, and the Marcel Tarot. This one is actually in French, okay, just so everyone knows. Which decks do you feel a pull towards? Just let me know. And yeah, simple. This gift giveaway is going to be valid until July the 31st, 2025. Okay, so how is this likely going to play out? The Sun. A good result, Scorpio, is how it's likely going to play out. You might also decide, you know what, I'm going to focus on my happiness, on my peace, on my healing. I'm going to focus on what it is that makes me feel good, what it is that fulfills my life, okay? Justice. There's that justice we were talking about. So you gave up. You gave up hoping for justice to do with this ex. And that's the result that you get. That's the exact result that you get. And it does make you happy. Those scales are balancing out here. Something, you can't take it back. But something's being put right, okay? It's not undoing. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to gaslight that way. It's like, okay, yeah, shit's gone down here. Some sort of serious shit's gone down. You can't undo it, but you're getting justice. You are getting justice. That's how this is likely going to play out. to do with that ex. Okay, energy at the bottom of the deck, the King of Wands. Yeah, so whoever this is, they are feeling very driven towards you. Okay, they might still also be quite attracted to you as well with that energy. Yeah, you've got the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So you will be receiving a message from this individual. I don't know when, but you will be. With that Ace of Swords. You're going to have your opportunity, if you want it, to set the record straight, to speak your mind, to say your piece. What else? The Scorpio dealing with this situation, please. Oh, courtship. And the dice, yeah. That's taking a gamble on a new relationship here. That's throwing the dice, seeing what happens, going with the flow, feeling more confident in your own decision making here. Yeah, you've got main male and despair. So this ex gambled with the relationship with you, and they lost. Clearly they lost. Very stupid thing to do. You've got the roots at the bottom of the deck, the tree. It's the tree roots. That's connection. It's family. Okay? You, for all I know, you could have taken a gamble on a new relationship elsewhere, well on the road to creating a beautiful family life for yourself here, and then you've got this ex energy who's sitting in despair, like, I could have had that. If I hadn't have fucked up with Scorpio, I could have had all that. Okay, what is it that they want to say to you? What does this person want to say to Scorpio, please? You're always on my mind. You're the love of my life. Okay. And I feel empty without you. Do you see what I mean? This individual is trying to use other people to fill that void within themselves, and it's not going to work. And that's where they end up hurting others, where they end up hurting themselves, because you can't possibly fill a void within you through another person. It doesn't work that way. Right, what is it that you need to focus on at this time? So what does Scorpio need to focus on at this time, please? Past programming. So Scorpio, at the moment you're needing to focus on choosing your beliefs, recognize false stories, external conditioning, make decisions that support your goal. So any false, faulty, past programming, thoughts that play on repeat in your head that are negative, it's time to dissect it all, process it all, okay? It's time for you to reprogram your mind with new positive thoughts that is going to be beneficial for you, okay? What else for Scorpio, please? What else for Scorpio? Oh, number 20. I am harmonious. Okay. You relate to others on an almost cosmic level. You're dedicated to building harmonious relationships of all kinds. You have the ability to persuade others to your point of view by using gentle means. Yeah. The gentle art of persuasion. And number 10, I am ingenious. You have great leadership skills. Your mind is sharp and allows you to dream up ingenious ideas and organize all the details. Then direct others on how to carry things out. Yeah, it's like natural leadership. Okay. So, you can take charge of this situation here, Scorpio. stay in harmony with what is going to be congruent to your life. Okay, right, let's get you some wonderful words of encouragement from the shitty deck, just to try and uplift your reading. Right, okay, it's not the shit that we face that defines us, but it's how we deal with it. Handle every shit that comes your way with grace, and let that shit slide down your back. And yes, it may feel wet, slimy, and gross, but with no shit, there would be no growth. Yeah. It's going through the hard shit, the difficult shit, the traumatic shit. It's getting through that so that we can make way for growth. Okay. Yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I genuinely hope that reading has been helpful. I can only apologize again for the unusual type of reading today, but it is what it is. Certain things happen. I just try and make the best of it as and when it happens, okay? But yeah, personal readings, they are available on my website, which is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Don't forget to enter into this month's free gift giveaway. Again, not sponsored by anyone. Okay, these are just decks that I need to destash. I got far too many decks and not enough space, so I got to rehome all of these. So yeah, which deck do you feel a pull towards? Just let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.